United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, known to many as UK or United Kingdom, has a population of 62.8 million people. Its capital is located in London. Its official language is English and their official religion is Christianity. United Kingdom has four constituents, namely Scotland, Northern Ireland, England, and Wales. When you look at England, its capital is London. Wales, capital is Cardiff. Scotland, capital is Edinburgh. In Northern Ireland, its capital is Belfast. The government of United Kingdom is a constitutional monarchy, and the head of state is Queen Elizabeth II. Since it is a constitutional monarchy, the head of state has little dealings when it comes to legislative affairs. Queen Elizabeth ruled for more than 60 years, and her Diamond Jubilee was celebrated in June 2012. After the light of Brexit and David Cameron resigning, Theresa May emerged as the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom and Great Britain. In here, we're going to discuss about the evolution of foreign policy in the state, wherein I just picked a notable head of state at the time of the century, for example, in this foreign policy. We're going to take a look at the 16th century, wherein Henry VII is the head of state, and his foreign policy is more centered on this Anglo-centric foreign policy. What does it mean? It means that the affairs or the things that they're going to do is more related or is more centric on this England policy or in this England state. On the 7th century, we have William of Orange, whose foreign policy is Jacobitism, wherein it aims that Great Britain and Ireland restore the Roman Catholics to King James VII of Scotland and England and Ireland as the heirs to the throne. In Jacobitism, we see that there is this kind of idea where it is closely linked with Catholicism from the onset, wherein there's passive obedience from the people to their king. On the 18th century, we'll have William Cavendish, who has this foreign policy on diplomatic revolution. This is where it's particular the stately quadrille, wherein states find alliances, for example, on which suited them best. Because in this type of idea, it's more easier for states to transfer from one alliance to another alliance because it's convenient for them to do so. On this 19th century, we have Alec Douglas Home, wherein his foreign policy is more centered on reparations. It means that at this time, the Hague Conventions was first present in this era, and there were a series of international treaties and declarations negotiated at these peace conferences. It's mainly reparations on what happened during the war, and this foreign policy centered on hopefully not going into another war in the very first place. We have the 20th century Margaret Thatcher, who is the first female prime minister of UK, and he has foreign policy is more centered on forwarding democracy by means that these people these people of Britain, for example, partnered with the US in terms of spreading democracy and cutting off communism evolution at the time. In this kind of idea, we see Margaret Thatcher pairing up with the US president at the time, and therefore they launched some kind of movement to propagate democracy at this era. In the 21st century, it's pre-Cameron, pre-David Cameron time. We have Tony Blair. His foreign policy is more mainly centered on England, UK being interventionist. His foreign policy is directed to interventionism, wherein UK at that time also launched attacks to Syria, also helped US on launching or attacking the sovereignty of Middle Eastern states, for example. This is the evolution of the foreign policy of the state. Moving on, we have the David Cameron time wherein Brexit happened. But before that, we're just gonna see what did I pick on this theory that could sum up the foreign policy of Britain, and I picked balance of power. We see that there is a balance of power and is infusing the theory in its political affairs, economic affairs, and cultural affairs. It's the end of the United Kingdom Behind the Lens edition, and I hope to see you soon on our next voyage towards greater life, peace, prosperity.